Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and we're here for another budget deck. So these budget decks are arena budgets. So generally what I try to do is keep them around 10 to 12 rare or mythic wild cards. And they're generally built around a theme or certain archetypes. So this particular one is a blue-white Azorius Flyers Skies deck. So basically what we're trying to do is play a bunch of cheap flying creatures, have anthem effects, and then kill our opponent with stuff like Rally of Wings. So one of the new cards that got printed in Ikoria is Skycat Sovereign. So Skycat's a 2-mana 1/1 that gets +1/1 for each other creature with flying, and then for 4 mana you can create a catbird. So this kind of gets bigger with our stuff. The other rares in the deck are Hushbringer. Hushbringer shuts down a lot of the ETB effects that are currently in play. Our deck doesn't really have enter the battlefield. It's a little bit risky because it makes their Uros stick, as well as some of their other stuff, but shuts off Cat Oven, shuts off all the sacrifice decks. So it's something that if we see kind of Bant colors, Simic colors, we may not want to be playing it out as early. Also just completely shuts down Gyruda. And then we have Brazen Borrower. It's a bounce effect, as well as a pretty formidable threat for 3 mana, evasive. The rest of the deck, what we have is Healer Hawk, Loyal Pegasus, 2/1 that can attack or block alone, Pteramander, which is mostly a 1/1, Spectral Sailor, then we have Rally the Wings, which gives +2/2 and untaps all our creatures with flying, and then Empyrean Eagle is a anthem effect for our board, makes all our creatures one bigger, and then we have 4 Winged Words to draw cards. If you have Hallowed Fountains, if you have Temples, if you have Fabled Passages, play them. We are going to just be playing some basics and some Tranquil Coves. What I want to see, I've never really been a fan of this, but I want to try it out. The other option is to play Faerie Miscreant. If you have another one, you get to draw a card, so some fringe upside there. So that's something we can play. There's also like Faerie Vandal. Whenever you draw a second card, you put some counters on it. So something like that we can try out. Sideboard wise, we have Devout Decrees, red and black matchups, Glass Caskets versus Aggro Mirrors, Aether Gust because it's a red and green world, some Vetoes versus Control, and Mystical Disputes. So post board, you kind of could become like a tempo style deck. Traditional play. Let's run it through. So we've done a few of these already. Really was happy with the Spellslinger draw cards with Ominous Seas. There was the black-white Aristocrats Sacrifice deck. Did another one as well. Mine's eluding me at this point. So they're playing Yorion. So Yorion's an ETB deck. We'll keep this. So generally they play Uro. So we want to see what their colors are. So I'm going to go the Sky Sovereign, or Skycat Sovereign on 2. If we hit an untapped line, we get to go Eagle. If we don't, we just go Hushbringer. It gets more power to attack with. I do have a Esper Doom Foretold Urian 80 card special, which this might be actually. There's a couple of versions. Some of them will play all the like sagas and the omens. Oh, shit. Missed out 2 points damage there. I meant to play this first. Oops. My mistake. So we missed out 2 points of point of damage. Hopefully that doesn't come bite us in the butt. So Esper. So this might be Doom Foretold. Might be like an Esper Hero style deck. Okay, they go Omen. Of note, this only shuts off creatures, doesn't shut off the other effects. It's not Cursed Totem. EDH Stacks All-Star. So they top bottom. This line's a little riskier because it puts us in the potential of a board wipe this turn. But if they have something like Shatter the Sky, we get to draw a card at least. And then I can follow it up with Healer Hawk and Winged Words to refill our hand. Yep. Let's do this. Do this. Try to find a land. Just didn't draw the blue land. Probably should have hedged our bets and then done, because we don't have a lot of duels. Pteramander is probably the safer play. So they can Remorse. We got just a handful of actions. So this match will get better. Post board we have sweeper or like counters. So we're kind of priced into just playing it out like this. We are kind of open to a board wipe. And unfortunately with the plus on Teferi they can do it at instant speed. So maybe that turn, playing the Eagle, we should have been a little bit more conservative. Okay, then go Yorian.
We will meet again.
That lets them reset their Teferi so they can bounce one of our things here.
I'll show restraint.
They don't. Okay. Well. We're going to try to kill him. Power of Rally of Wings coming through there. I think I'm going to hold back this Healer Hawk. We have lethal even through a bounce. There's no sense of overextending here.
This might be a bad idea.
They plus here, so it could be a board wipe. Show me the board wipe. Shatter. So I can adapt here to draw a card. If we just let this resolve. Two points of damage. All we need. Teferi can bounce our Healer Hawk here, resetting us. I'm holding the land. We don't need this land for anything. It's better to bluff. Like we have potentially another pump. So this is the time of the game where Loyal Pegasus I'm not really a fan of, because if they deal with our Healer Hawk, this just kind of stays here. Ah, they neutralize that. So although the opponent's at 2 life, we've probably lost this game. They're going to be able to set up their draws, them just having a bunch of removal. So I think if we draw another land this turn, we just go to sideboard where we can have a better chance. Kind of flooded out there. So this is just a case where you bring in all these counters and Hushbringer's probably too slow. Just take that out. Really just want to lower my curve here. You know what? I don't like these Loyal Pegasus. I'd rather play some Hushbringers. We're going to update. I'm going to play Faerie Miscreant. Or even... yeah, I would probably play Faerie Miscreant. Okay. I think we keep this. I'm leading on the Cove because next turn I can go Healer Hawk and then hold up Dispute. That's great because that lets us play the Sailor at instant speed if they don't play anything. Not hitting the land there is awkward because they can Cryocarnarium here. Hopefully they just try to jam Teferi. Okay, so no Cry is good. Can't deal with Kaya.
The crueler the opponent, the sweeter the victory. I'm gonna make myself scarce.
This is very awkward.
Lucky hit.
So this game, just not hitting lands is going to cost us. If we had one more land, would have been fine. So I could have rallied, but then it taps us out. At least like this gives us a second threat. If they stick the Teferi... oh, and they have the Othakaya. Lovely. Okay, so that's actually fine. Play out Skycat here. Hopefully they try to drop. They might just try land, Yorion, bounce Othakaya. So if we can dispute it, it'll be good. I usually like waiting so you can play, get a couple effects. Interesting. Probably just play this out. They might just have like Heartless Act. They have the Typhoon. So it would have been better served with the Borrower. So cycling is an effect. Yeah. Okay, let's make some tweaks to this. This is why we play the games, to see how they go. Obviously, the mana base isn't ideal. But I think getting rid of... where are you? Budget UI Flyers. Let's get rid of Pegasus. Go up Faerie. Question is, maybe instead of Hushbringers we play our own Teferis. Lets us recycle some of our threats, protects us from like counter spells and instant speed stuff. And we haven't really been seeing much Gyruda. Let's try that out. We have 8 1-drops. We can go from there. Playing 16-20 lands. Still should be fine. Let's try this one out. If you're running into like a lot of Gyruda, play the Hushbringers. But if you're just running into Uros, and like I've been seeing a lot more Kroxa and Uro than I have Gyruda. Gyruda was like first 2 days, 3 days of standard. And then people were just playing counter spells and the deck falls on its face. We may want like Disdainful Stroke in the sideboard as well for these like bigger decks. Okay, this hand works. Would actually prefer a second, so we're playing Jengantha. So it's usually fires. Perfect. This lets me go Sailor and then play Sailor and Miscreant. So they have Mardu. Let's poke at them. So I'm opting to do this just in case they have something like Clarion. I'm not overextending. Trying to get another one of these in hand so I can play both. Okay, so it's just Uro. So this is a game where if we had Hushbringer, they would have had a 6/6. These lines are very difficult to see which ones they are without highlighting. So still no blue. So I actually think it's reasonable here just to take them off some mana.
I can stand by and watch. Nothing.
They don't have blue mana, so it shuts them off Uro. They don't have red mana. Oh, they have 1 red mana, so if they play fires, they're okay this turn. Okay, top land. So buys us a chance to push through some more damage. Okay, they go Druid. Rally is 9 damage here, so I think we set up for a rally turn.
That's more like it.
So I can do this at instant speed, but I kind of want to hit a land drop so I can play out 2 threats. Let's attack in first. They're creature based. What are the chances they have? I think we just do this. So if they don't wipe our board, they're dead next turn. No blocks here.
Just let me know if you're in the flat too.
So just in case we hit like land in something else. This also differentiates our threats. So they had the extinction event. This would make it 3 for Poly K. Doesn't have reach. That is a fantastic draw. So that's 6. Not quite enough. So it's 6 and then we get him for 10, so we're 2 short. So I'm going to rally here as opposed to playing out the threat. It plays better against a board wipe. Here they could fight something with Pelucranos. Even if they have Extinction Act, they can get rid of these 2, but it doesn't kill everything. So this looks like 5 color fires, most likely. No blocks. Currently at 2 adapt, so we need a land or a spell in the graveyard. They can't Uro yet.
I know my responsibility.
Doesn't quite do it for them. Because they can use this to fight this. This is 1 power. That's how you do it. So playing to the outs there. If we drew it, we killed them. If we didn't, we played one of these out. So it looks like they do have Teferis. It's interesting because they have Uro. So we probably just bring in the Gus. I don't think we want disputes. They might bring in their own mystical disputes, so our Teferis are good, I think, on the play. Because, like, they're mostly creatures, and this doesn't hit everything in their deck. Coming out... Probably... What's the weak? You gain life, you could potentially draw cards... They're going to have access to more sweepers, so... Get 1 card. 1 dispute. That 1 dispute's going to win us the game. Being able to, like, attack through the air helps in a lot of these matchups. What did I say? It's going to win us the game. Scary Terry. Not going to play anything out this turn. If they have fires or anything, I want to be able to Uro. That's fine. We could delay him a turn, but it doesn't do a huge amount. What I can do is I can tuck away this Paradise Druid and force him to shuffle it away. Which I think is still pretty lackluster. So we weren't very mana efficient that last turn, unfortunately. I think it still was important to hold it up. They could have had Fires or Teferi, which invalidates these afterwards. Unmoored Ego. Sure. You're gonna get rid of Rally of the Wings? Don't bring in Unmoored Ego against an aggro deck. I don't have combo pieces. Okay, well, you named Winged Words. So they played a card, time walked their turn so that they can take 2 cards out of my hands to draw me 2 cards. Cool. All super reasonable. Play out another Scary Terry. Fortunately, nothing in the grave yet to start adapting these. You want to put it on top? Can do this all day. All day, my friend. Like I said, we can do this all day. We're super dead to a board wipe here. Hopefully it's like time wipe, so I can counter with this dispute. Sure. Kill this, gain 4. Not quite enough for that requirement. Feel like we dispute whatever they play so I can adapt one of these next turn. In which case, even if they have a board wipe, so play it out. So this is the Mardu. That means even without a land, I have 5 damage coming in. Forgot this was still Paradise Druid. You're dead. Play all the colors in the world. All the wild cards, we still beat them. So that's pretty much the deck. I think the change of Teferi in the main is probably more reasonable than Hushbringer. So I will make that update on the site. So the next deck we'll be playing on the weekend for the budget series is a Black-Red Menace tribal deck. If there are any other decks you'd like to see in terms of budget consideration, kind of archetypes, themes with Ikoria, do drop a note and we can play something like that. Probably you'll do something around like the Gruul dinosaurs if possible. A lot of the good dinosaurs are rare, so we'll see what we can put together. Maybe a mono color dino deck. But we can see with that. There's some good stompy elements we can probably build a budget deck with. So that pretty much wraps it up. As always, thanks for stopping by, and catch you on the other side.